Hello, my sweet artistic friends. Today, I am going to show you a lesson for International Dot Day. International Dot Day is September 15th, and Miss Malakara is going to read the Dot book. And what I want you to do is to make a lot of dots. What? A dot? Well, that's so simple, Miss Gordon. You can use all kinds of things to make a dot, but I am going to show you some fun and an interesting way to make a dot. So this is one of our little birds right here.
His name is Watermelon.
Her name is Watermelon?
Her name is Watermelon.
Yeah. And if you notice, she has, I don't know if I can show you. She has
feather feet.
Yep, she has feathers on her feet. Let me hold her. I know. See, look, if you can see, she's got feathers on her feet, and that's just her breed. Okay, baby, you can take.
Stay calm.
All right, so what you're going to need for International Dot Day is you are going to use a piece of, for this particular one, you can do it however you want. If you want to use markers or crayons or oil pastels or whatever you have, but I'm going to show you how to do it with watercolors. So what you're going to do is you are going to take and you are going to draw. You can get a whole, just some lids, some random lids. Don't take the lids off containers that are already being used. Just, I always collect a bunch of lids to make circles of various shapes all the time. So what you're going to do is draw a whole bunch of circles, because these are dots too. So here's a circle, there's a circle, here's a circle right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use liquid glue. And I am going to paint my dots with liquid glue. So I make liquid glue by using just a little bit of glue and add a little bit of water in a container. Here we go. We're just going to put a whole bunch of glue on here. Just like this. So you've named that one Watermelon, Adrian?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. We have one poofy head chick left, and a friend of mine, they named it Bob Ross. So if you don't know who Bob Ross is, he is a famous guy. He is a famous guy, artist that painted happy little things and happy little mistakes, and he's a pretty interesting guy to watch, an artist to watch. So anyway, our last poofy head chick is named Bob Ross. We've noticed that the poofy heads, they seem to be smaller than the other chicks. We're not sure if something's wrong or something's going on with them, or if that's their breed. But she is our last poofy head. Okay, so I've got this on cardstock and drew my circles, put my glue on there. Then you're going to use salt. This is just regular table salt, not fancy. And if you notice, I do have this on a tray because I'm going to pour salt all over my glue dots, like all over. No, that's why I have it in a tray. So all over, and I kind of keep pouring it over, because you can see when it's shiny, that means that salt, the salt has already absorbed it. Now, the magic of videos, bum, bum, bum. I have let this dry. I've already done one, and I've let it dry for 24 hours. So you want to let it dry for 24 hours for the next step. What I'm going to do is I'm going to then take and shake off all that salt. Kind of clean up my edges. Maybe you got too much glue coming out, which isn't a big deal, just to make my dots more dotterly. Just going to kind of do this. I'm going to put it over because I created another one that's a big dot. Just like this.
It looks like the earth.
It does look like the earth. I don't know if y'all can see that. One of my sons says it looks like the earth. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my trays out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to use watercolor. Oh, let's show the baby chick one more time. See the baby chick? If you notice, look at the texture and the feathers. And then she's getting her big feathers versus her little chick, soft little feathers. So this is what happens when they start changing. Here. Okay, go ahead and take her. And you can put her back. All right, so what I'm going to do is I've got my liquid watercolors that I've made right here. And I've got them in front of me. And I've got a water to rinse my brush and a paper towel to help me rinse my brush. So what I think I'm going to do, you guys know I love the rainbow, but I'm going to use salt. Can y'all see what's happening? The salt and the liquid watercolor is absorbing and spreading out. Just like so. I'm just going to dab it on here, and it's just so cool to watch how the watercolor spreads. Now I'm going to rinse because I want to go ahead and switch it to orange. You can use big brushes or little brushes depending on the size of your dot that you're making. And again, this is just one way to make a dot. You don't have to make it with salt. If all you have is crayons or markers or colored pencils, you can totally make your dot the way you want. I just thought this would be a fun and unique way to make a dot. And remember, Miss Malakar is going to be reading the dot book for you. Okay. Then what comes after yellow is green. Green like plants and the grass and the trees. I love where we live. We have so many trees. It's like my favorite is trees. Okay. After green comes blue. You don't even have to touch if you just let it drip.
It looks like the earth a little bit.
It does look like the earth like a little bit?
Yeah, see the sea? Little lake?
Mm-hmm. And what comes after blue?
Purple.
Purple. I'm going to put purple. And there is my one gigantic dot.
Rainbow Earth.
Rainbow Earth. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move over to my other dots, like the ones I made. And I think this one I'm just going to make my dots solid colors. So I'm just using one of my mop brushes. You can use any type of brush you might have. This one's just a big fluffy brush. I'm going to spread this out. I'm going to put purple on that one too. Now, I would not suggest doing this particular sock project on copy paper, printer paper. That paper is way too thin. At school, I usually use 90-pound pressed paper that I specially order so that we can do just about everything I want to do on it. But right now, I'm just using cardstock. So if you have cardstock, that's probably the best. If you use copy paper, it won't hold up. The glue won't hold up. Look, so as I'm doing this, I'm making new dots. And I'm going to do cool colors. So I've got blues, purples, and green is my next cool color. So So cool colors are blues, purples, and greens, kind of like the water, the ocean. And then red, orange, and yellow are warm colors like the sun. So they're hot. Hope you guys are staying cool because it has been really hot lately. Okay. So I look forward to seeing some pictures of your dot. Remember your dot, like the book, the dot, you can make big dots, little dots, mini dots. You can get really, really, really big, or you can go really, really, really small. But I hope to see some pictures of all your dots. So, okay, I'm going to show you one last trick with this particular project. So what I did was, again, you do this one day ahead and let it sit. I used a piece of cardstock still. Oops, it's still pretty thick. And what I did was I wrote my name with liquid glue. Let's see if I can get out some of the pieces. So what I'm doing is just kind of chipping off the sides where I don't want the salt. I'm using just the end of my paintbrush to... So I wrote my first name. And I wrote it in cursive, but you can write it however you'd like to write it. Make sure you, again, you do this over a tray so you don't get salt everywhere. Okay. Just use the end of my brush just to kind of scrape it. Clean up my edges. So all I did was write my name with pencil, and then I used a glue bottle, and I just slowly outlined it with the glue. And then again, I let it sit for 24 hours, which is a day. Okay. So let's move this out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm using a smaller paintbrush, but I guess it probably doesn't matter which paintbrush you use. And I am going to, this is just an extension if you wanted to do more with the salt technique. So you just need liquid glue, watercolors. Definitely do this on cardstock or thicker paper. And these are just the watercolors that I made, but you can use the pan of watercolors if you have a pan of watercolors. Okay, so my warm colors, red, orange, yellow. And then, let's see, let's add some more yellow right here. And I'm going to add, after yellow comes green. So you can make all kinds of pictures with this particular technique. And then after blue comes purple or violet. And there you have it. My name is now a piece of artwork. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'd love to see what pictures y'all create. Remember, if you're going to do something like this, you're going to draw it with a pencil first and then use a glue bottle Outline really slowly or carefully, and then go ahead and sprinkle the salt on like we did the first one. Let it sit for at least 24 hours. I think mine actually set for a couple of days, but it doesn't matter, but at least 24 hours. No sooner than that. And then you have your watercolors and your water, and you have some new art. So I would love to see all your pretty dots. Remember, you can do this with colored pencils or markers or whatever you might have. You could use construction paper to make your dots. But Miss Malakar and I would love to see your dots. All right, guys, one last look at the baby chick.
Bye. Peep, peep.
There's the baby chick. All right, guys, I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Peep, peep.